Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, free enterprise friends. It is Wednesday evening, and that means it is time for the Community Club Showcase featuring the Mysidian Jumping Club. I am one of your co-commentators, Groundflyer. It's been a while. How's everybody doing? And I am here with my trusty sidekick, FF4FE. How are you doing this evening?
Who are you?
Good question.
Everybody. Welcome to the Jumping Club. We've missed you, Groundflyer.
No, you haven't.
Everybody in the chat say how much you missed Groundflyer.
Nah.
But yeah, so welcome back to some boinky.
Yes, indeed. I do enjoy the jumping occasionally. It's a lot of fun. It's, you can go a lot of places, like a lot of stuff is wide open to you, but that doesn't mean it's easy. There's still going to be a considerable number of challenges, not the least of which is, as you can see, the bottom objective there, number 4, is defeat the king at the town of monsters. That's one of the nastiest spots in the game, so we could absolutely see something roadblocking this entire seed there, depending on what boss it is.
Yeah, with a fast spot like the Leviathan spot, you know we're rooting for something quick, something hard and punchy. I always like seeing an Ogopogo there because I'm a nice person. Though speaking of nice people, Harumph with the naming scheme, I see what you're doing, Harumph, and those last 4 need to change because the song is now in my head.
Womp womp. By the way, thank you to both Neon Gray and Harumph for volunteering to be on the restream this evening. It'll be a great time watching both of them.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. Just Jumping Club in general takes everything what you know about free enterprise and says, that's cute, and throws it out the window. We'll most likely see our runners do some completely game-breaking things, and with a small, tiny, purple-haired child named Yeetridia, you will see her jumping over mountains to get underground, potentially within the first few minutes of the game, because you can jump over boss spots and you can get underground without any key items. You can do a lot of things that you're not supposed to do. So it'll be pretty fun to see our runners show how much jumping breaks the game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Tellus forgot all of those spells over time getting old, but he did not forget Leg Day.
This is true. So what's actually interesting is, speaking of other old men, first we'll start off speaking with 2 small children. Looks like to start, we've got a Rydia and a Palom speaking to a beardy boy in the form of Leviathan and getting an adamant rock. So it's a Children's Day here at Free Enterprise. So
hey, listen, the kids are taking over for, they're just surpassing their elders, and that's just the way it is. They're just super powerful, and you can't stop them. But yeah, Palom is definitely the preferred of the 2 mages here. They both can be powerful in different situations, but Palom has a lot more survivability, and he gets spells earlier, and just about everything favors him in a lot of ways.
I do enjoy dating myself here. I see a start like that, and I immediately start singing "Youth of the Nation" by POD because, again, that's my kind of thing. But automatically starting the game, we do see a little bit of divergence here. Harumph is going immediately to get a free item. Actually, no. Yeah, Harump's getting a free item from Bedward, and Neon Gray is saying, I don't need a Baron key to get into Baron. I'm just going to jump over everybody.
We just got an objective required a hook over there from Edward. So that's not needed now to get underground, obviously, because one can jump through Eblin to get there. But in order to hand in that pigtail, you need to have that hook. So that's a huge thing to get out of the way.
Always pretty interesting to see those types of required items and go, oh, wait, they actually don't need that to get where they need to go. So, heck. Because you can see right away walls that you would think small children would not be able to jump over. Suddenly they can bounce over it just fine. Neon Gray actually picked up a really nice item on their screen with Silk Web, which is a great item to use to slow down Z at the very end of the race. Well, meanwhile, Harumph is showing us how a small summoner child can jump over a mountain.
It's pretty impressive. That's some good leg power. It really is. But yeah, getting quickly underground, gonna be actually surprisingly doing some chest checking down here, since we do have T Wildish on. That means that chests that are typically what we would call gated behind key items, such as this would normally be behind Hook, the the gear is significantly better. And so the fact that Harumph was able to find that there's one single in Eblin Cave, there's one single monster box. By finding that early, he can now just check all of the chests and just go through them all and loot everything. And so hopefully he'll find some pretty good loot on his way down.
Well, speaking of loot, Harumph checked that shop and found sirens. So we have a grind option immediately on the table in the form of actually sirens and coffins were in that shop. So that is a grinding starter pack right there.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, the downside being you need cash, but Wildish will provide hopefully a little bit of that. But yeah, getting sirens this early, you can break a game open a little bit. You know, you might not have the super fast XP gain, but if you get characters and can just run over and do some egg grinding with those sirens and, you know, amass pretty good levels early on, you can basically take this game by storm.
Speaking of taking this game by storm, Edward has been found.
And discarded, as he should be.
Can I get another comms partner, please?
Womp womp.
But no, what's actually interesting is when you go into the hook route, normally you think, okay, we get to see who I have to fight in the ruby spot, and it is a purple robe, so it's a beast, but not the one that you'd think. It's either going to be a Mylon and Friends or Mylon Zed. But you know, that doesn't really matter here because again, we're not boss hunting this time around, and we don't have to fight that spot. We have to get underground to fight a spot, but not that one. So it's good information, but it's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the worst that you can say is that it's not, you know, that's a relatively easy boss. The Mylons are both pretty easy, and you're not getting rid of like a nastier one that can be found somewhere else. But whatever, yeah, like you said, you know, we get to skip both that particular boss, the Rubicante spot, and also the King Queen Eblin spot, which, despite King Queen Eblin being totally free, that spot is not. Ooh, it's nasty. So, you know, being able to skip over those two is a pretty substantial advantage to getting this game started early on with jumping. So,
and both our runners are finding extreme value in the cave shops today with those coffins, with those sirens, and actually in the weapon shop, Harumph definitely got a stockpile of samurai arrows. So we are going to be seeing an archer video or some character of some kind. Hopefully an Edward, since Rumph's going to be picking one up in the near future. Hopefully.
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Well, honestly, I mean, that might be... Actually, is this can you retrieve characters here? Maybe that's a character you want to save for later. Yeah, no, sorry. It's just not happening.
Womp womp.
I mean, if a spoon is acquired, is actually a spoon on this flag set?
Spoon is on. We do have a spoon.
So yeah, you would probably be coming back for that Eddie if you saw a spoon. That's for sure.
That is a spicy play there on Harumph's side. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I am extremely biased here. What Harumph is showing, actually, a lot of very quick routes through the tower. And you can just see, oh, look, we had two bosses there. Nah, I don't care. I don't even need to see who's there. I can just jump right past everybody.
Yeah, you just kind of skip over the whole boss room. It's like there was even a room there. I don't even know. And ooh, we see a required evil wall sitting on the top of Lower Babel. That's objective 3. So that's, I mean, you definitely that's not what the grossest place to find evil wall, but that's one of the grossest bosses you can find at that spot. So I'll take it.
Okay, look, we heard you were coming back, and, you know, Slayer's tried to be really nice and put your wall somewhere where you could see it and talk about it, and here you are going, oh, it's okay.
Look, I like my walls, okay? I'm a connoisseur. I'm a gourmand of good evil walls. So, you know, I'm very picky and I'm selective, and this is pretty good, though. I'll say it's good. But I hope Leviathan has something. I hope it has a second evil wall, honestly. As long as that's in the code, I think it's in the logic, right? Yeah, that should be, right?
Yeah, totally.
Exactly, totally. You know, but that's okay. That I don't get to have every boss every time. Hopefully something else gross is there. Like actually, what else is gross there?
Ogopogo?
Yeah, Ogopogo. Ogopogo's pretty horrifying there. I love Ogopogo there.
I would, because these are two mages, I would like to see, if we're going rude, karate mentioned in chat. I'd love to see a pale dim. I'd love to see a Val. Just something that is going to force our runners to think of a different option. See what other characters are available.
It never ceases to amaze me watching this. And I've played a little bit of jump, not a ton, but like I'm always seeing people walking like, why are they going that random direction? Then they like jump, and I'm like, oh, they're just this totally like, it's just like all these shortcuts. There's so many places to find. Like it's not immediately obvious, even if you've played it for a little while. But there's so many different places to find just little shortcuts. You can take a couple seconds off here and there, whatever it is. But there's always ways to be improving your game.
Agreed. And this is one of the interesting things about the push P jump flags and just the free enterprise community in general. This particular flag, for those that don't know, was an April Fool's joke. It came about, I believe, in 2019, where Boardface, our supreme AI commander, just put this in the game. And as a joke, everybody loved it.
Actually, it was last year. It was 2020. It's not even been a year since Push B got added.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
2019 was the one where we added that where Boardface added that vintage flag and the black and white stuff.
To be fair, I wasn't actually part of the free enterprise community yet when this came out, so
fair. Yeah, I just wanted to correct you. That's all. Don't worry.
To be fair, 2020 also took like 80 years in and of itself to complete. But yes, so...
that's very true. It's hard for people to think back that long ago. So yeah, no, understood.
And actually, a quick point of note, Harumph did check the free chest in Feymarch, and we have found a Sand Ruby, so we have another character available for us if possible, or if Harumph decides to take one after putting some levels on. But yeah, this was a joke flag that everybody fell in love with, and it just became a staple to the point where people just kept playing it and doing asyncs, and then it became its own club, the Mysidian Jumping Club. I'm not quite sure of the lore of why it's the Mysidian Jumping Club, but as we try to figure that out, Harumph is going to be showing us which boss is waiting for us.
Ooh, it's something sparkly. Oh, come on, something gross.
If it's Pale Dim, I'm going to laugh so hard.
Actually, Pale Dim might be punchy there. As long as it's not Plague. Plague is like the one that's like kind of a freebie. It'll take you a while, but like it's free.
Plague is my least favorite one to see, but I have issues with Plague. Plague and I do not get along. But come on. Show me a Pale Dim. Come on.
I want that.
Or Ogo. Pale Dim or Ogo.
Give me that Ogo. I'm not being greedy. I just want... Listen, game. Okay, Pale Dim. There we go. That's going to hurt. That's a punchy snake right there. Real punchy.
And here's the annoying part for our runners right now. We have a black mage in Palom. We have a blackish mage, whitish mage in Rydia. And a summoner in Rydia. Pale Dim just does not care about anything elemental. And it really doesn't like summons. So pretty much everything that our runners can do with these two characters, Pale Dim's like, that's adorable, and just thwaps them away with their tail.
Yeah, I mean, unless you got summons, right? But yeah, like you need nuke. That would be like a thing that could actually get through, I suppose. But that's it. Yeah, no, this is like the kryptonite of these characters right now. So that makes it even better. In fact, the Evil Wall, same thing. Like you're not going to be able to cast a lot of viruses against Evil Wall. You're going to need some actual physical DPS to get through that.
And as Berserk now mentioned in chat, that if you do have a summon, you can use it. Pale Dim will counter with the Quake spell, so if you have Float, then you can kind of go around it. But both of our runners saw that Pale Nope Noodle and said, you know what, I'm going to take my business elsewhere. Harumph has, I think, prepped Sheila 1 and is going to check that out, hopefully. And the Ungray will be most likely exiting Feymarch right now, and we'll see where they go.
One of the fascinating things I find in these, especially in Jumping Club, because you can jump over so much, is the sheer amount of game you can actually accomplish without ever fighting anything. Like, we're 12 minutes in, and they've checked like most of the underworld, a lot of the overworld already. By the way, there's a Cecil that can be activated with that Sand Ruby, so we might be seeing a DKC here shortly. But the fact that like we could get like 15-20 minutes in and not see actual fighting, like all the characters are base level, but then you have to get the grind done at some point. But like you're always going into this like higher end content, just kind of like walking around like I have 30 hit points.
Agreed. And actually, interesting factor about that, Cecil. Looking on Neon Gray's screen, they had a light sword, and I know it was picked up fairly early. I don't remember where it was picked up. So if one also happened to pick up that light sword, that Cecil suddenly is a lot more valuable and could make that Pale Dim, or could unlock the puzzle that is Pale Dim right now.
So Harumph got a light sword in Feymarch. It was one of the first chests, I believe. Or somewhere in the cave before you get to the town. So yeah, he also has access to that, presumably. So yeah, having a paladin Cecil with a light sword, like light sword's like the first weapon, the first holy weapon of his, that makes him, I think, really viable in the game, and that would obviously make things a lot more destroyable later on, including that Pale Dim.
So as Neon showed us, dwarves know how to make some fine mead, and in this case, Bacchus. Well, Bacchus wine today, but we have some berserk options for melee characters if Neon happens to find that Cecil or any other particular character. Harumph, meanwhile, realizes the value of that Cecil and is immediately going to Mount Ordeals, and we're going to find out some early-ish game bosses.
Well, are we? I mean, we could just jump, well, 2 of them anyway, right?
True. Now, here's the interesting thing about jumping. Again, for those who don't know, you can jump over boss spots, which is fantastic. But that doesn't mean that just because you jump over them, they're suddenly triggered and you no longer have to fight them. So our runners, when they jump over these spots very carefully, as Harumph has shown us, Harumph, when he leaves, he needs to remember to jump over them again, because those boss spots are still active.
Yeah, nothing feels better than making it through. You go through the Ordeals fight. Maybe it's actually kind of an annoying one, because some of them actually are a little annoying. And then you accidentally walk on a tile on the way back out, and you have to start over again. Oh, by the way, Vanilla Legend Sword, and we have an X-Cal for this Cecil now. So, bam.
Yeah, that Mount Ordeals just got high value right there. And so now we need to, program a computer, which honestly, there are some very rude spots to see CPU. This, my friends, is not one of them. This should be a very, very quick fight for our runners when they get there.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be like 2 hits. In fact, Quake, yeah, it's done one shot. So there you go.
That's one of the perks by using those sirens early to get that Quake kid online. Palom getting Quake, this seed just got a lot easier for Harumph.
Yeah, getting Palom, he doesn't need that many levels. I don't recall what level he gets Quake, but it's pretty early. And once you get that, that's like the first spell that you can get that kind of opens things up a little bit. So having Quake definitely makes a lot of bosses a lot less annoying or doable.
Agreed. Sorbius in chat mentioning that it is level 23 that Palom has to get so he can get Quake. Harumph thankfully remembered to do the double bounce over the bosses, so rest in peace, whatever 2 bosses those are. And yeah, that's just another reason why Palom is significantly superior to Rydia in all of her hopes and dreams. Palom gets really good spells a lot faster. Now, to Rydia's credit, and what makes her slightly different than Palom, is Rydia is more of a status effect Black Mage early on, where Palom is just, I'm going to make things disappear type Black Mage. So the fun kind.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if you happen to come across a Leviathan or a Bahamut and you get a Rydia, then that changes things a little bit. But yeah, generally speaking, that's pretty true. She does get good. I mean, she gets Warp really early too, which is really nice. Like, I think she only needs to be like level 8 or something. And then if you have Warp on her, that allows you to get out of, a sealed cave faster. That allows you to do Warp Glitch if that's turned on. Like a number of things. Like, there's definitely utility for her, even despite her getting powerful spells later.
Oh, hi. So our shop is definitely a fruit stand today. We have both gold and silver apples available, crystal rings I saw, and then some Hanzo steel. Those apples are going to be actually really good for the team as it is. Palom and Rydia, their HP totals are, kind of laughable. So having that extra HP influx is gonna do them wonders.
Yeah, I mean the biggest question is like price. Like they're definitely not cheap. I forget what the costs are. They're like 50, 80,000 or something like that. So if to get to, I mean, you could get a couple hundred HP out of them, but like you're obviously not going to be doing Appleseed type levels of craziness, which is good because that kit's kind of silly. But you could definitely make, especially Rydia, who is super low HP, you can make her a lot more viable.
Agreed, and I missed Neon Gray checking this out earlier, and hopefully we'll get... Okay, there we go. So the seed's officially validated. Our job dwarf of the day is a law clerk. Thank you to our runners for answering that burning question that nobody was asking, but we all internally want to know the answer to.
No, we're always asking that question. Well, no, okay, we're asking a different question that we'll get to later. But the other question we're asking is, what does the job dwarf do for a living? Like, we just have to know this stuff.
Oh, I just want to know how many licks it took to get to the center of Tootsie Roll Pop.
I'm pretty sure it's Thrahi, as that bird says, if I remember.
See, and this is why we like you back on comms. You said it correctly.
Actually, I said it wrong. It's Thrahi. There you go. Sorry.
Meanwhile, while Neon Gray is calling tech support, Rumpf is going to Dwarf Castle and checking out what we hopefully getting some wine for our Cecil and maybe showing us some bosses.
Yeah, it's time for our Cecil to get lit. That's for sure. But no, yeah, obviously, Bacchus wine's gonna make his life a lot easier. Because you could just kind of throw that on him with an X-Cal and forget, and put your controller down and take a nap, because Cecil's gonna fix some problems.
Yeah, at this point, Cecil can go to Winchester, have a pint, and wait for all this to blow over.
Exactly. So you got to figure. I mean, the dwarves brew some mighty mean spirits, and by mean I mean that it makes you mean and you beat up stuff.
Speaking of beating up stuff, Harumph is, I will never understand how you can get attacked from behind from an egg or surprised by an egg. But that is exactly what happened to Harumph.
Wait a minute, something's been stalking me all this time. Oh my god, it's an egg! Sorry, just had a little scare in my house. Don't worry, carry on everyone else. That was weird. That was really scary.
We'll tell Tuna not to jump from behind, because...
That's true, she can scare the crap out of me occasionally.
Eggs are our natural stealth agents, and it's not Eggamus, so it's not like it's the mega egg. It's just egg.
Hey, it could still be. We never know.
True, but it died quickly enough. And what's nice about that is Paladin Cecil. No matter how many levels you get on Dark Knight Cecil, when he becomes a paladin, he gets rid of all of those levels because leveling was hard, and he wanted to do it again. Goes right back down to level 1. Having that siren boops him right back up into 22, especially because his partners in crime were of a high enough level gap ahead of him where he got a little bit of a boost.
Asuka, to be fair to Cecil here, when he's a Dark Knight, he's counting up numbers, and then he all of a sudden turns into a paladin and like forgets where he was counting, and so he has to start over. Like, it's not his fault. It's complicated. A lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, he walked into a room full of mirrors, fought a computer that shouldn't exist in these times, and got a sword not from the Lady of the Lake.
I mean, I'd lose count. I'd lose more than that, probably, but at least I'd lose count.
But the nice thing, there was a really nice pick-up for that Paladin Cecil in the form of a power shirt, and Harumph showing us a very quick shortcut through the Tower of Babel. Just why go all the way around? We could just jump over ceilings.
I do love that those little square tile things on the top you can actually walk on, which is convenient for shortcuts, but also hilarious that you can basically like Batman your way through dungeons now. It's an awesome improvement over the regular vanilla Final Fantasy walking. Just regular walking. Who wants to do that when you can do jumpy walking?
I know, to be fair, I can barely walk properly in vanilla, but the thing though, the runners have to remember with the jumping was not intended for anybody other than Kane outside of combat. So it does break the game. And some doors, if you jump in certain areas, the doors don't work properly. I think Tower of Babel for sure, maybe some other places, but if you jump into an area that you're not technically supposed to be able to get to, a door where you might think goes to a specific location suddenly just turns into a return door and it teleports you somewhere else. Or if you decide to base dive or base jump off of a building or a tower, it'll take you to certain areas that you might not expect. So half the battle of learning this flag is actually figuring out where jumping actually does take you.
Yeah, and I mean, jumping, this is definitely a little bit broken, which, was kind of the idea in the first place when it was created. It was like, there's nothing can be done about all these weird minus tiles on the side of the game and stuff. Let's just play around and have fun. And obviously, even cooler, it became actually like a competitive thing that the Jumping Club has been able to bring that here with us, which is really cool. Something that started off as more of like it was an amusement, really, more than anything. So the fact that, it's playable in this fashion is really fantastic.
Now, another thing I'm actually really curious to see is, again, for those that don't know the push B to jump feature that often, the jumping doesn't just affect the runners or the players' characters outside of actual fights. You can, in fact, jump with any single character inside of a fight as well. So things like cheeky Mega Nukes getting missed or trying to dodge an evil wall crunch. Another surprise egg right there. Go figure. Our runners can actually jump with any character by literally pushing B to jump. It'll make that or kind of. Don't ask me to do sound effects. I'm not a voice artist, a voice actress.
It's more of a whoop.
Fair enough. But you make that sound and then they will jump up just like Kane does and then come down and do damage. And hopefully, though, speaking of damage, our Harumph will be able to take out that evil wall. This is attempt number 2, so Cecil is fired up, ready to go with that Berserk status. We'll see if that helps to do enough damage.
Yeah, I mean, the real question is survivability at this point. I don't know what that Cecil has in terms of HP protection gear, but when Evil Wall can kind of cheat the ATB system and go really fast, it might not matter. But 2,700, I mean, I don't think this is going to be enough, though.
You want to know something? Let me tell. Come here, chat. Sit by the bar and fire. Let me tell you a funny story about Edward. Okay, so my friends, Edward has a fun ability called Hide. Edward hides. That is a very cheeky way to beat certain bosses. It leads to Edward strats against Z, and it leads to really fun things against Evil Wall. Because if Evil Wall is dead, or excuse me, if all the other party members are dead, swooned, and Edward is hiding, Evil Wall will continue getting closer and closer towards the party and start hitting itself. So, yeah, Edward can make a rude Evil Wall into a really, really funny fight that needs some Benny Hill music behind it.
Yeah, no, Eddie's great at that. I don't know if you call it like fourth wall breaking, but just like, I'm going to hide and the Big Bang is going to create the universe when you fight the end boss. But like you could just kind of like hide and disappear into another dimension. It's pretty actually. I mean, if you really think about it, Eddie's actually the most powerful mage in the game because he can leave the dimension and no one else can do anything even remotely close to that. So there you go, game set match.
And see, the funny thing is, because you are on stream that is recorded, somebody clipped that for posterity's sake, and yeah. But what's interesting, what's interesting is a wyvern starting off the dwarf castle fight.
Oh wow!
Hi, wyvern. Oh, that's cheeky right there. Especially since wyverns, you can change wyvern's opening ability off of Mega Nuke if you so choose. However, that flag is not on, so you are guaranteed a Mega Nuke to start the race or start the fight. So our runners need to get a Star Veil up. Otherwise, wyvern is going to make quick work of that team.
Yeah, no doubt. I just noticed Neon Grey went and did, what I'll call faux music because it's not actually music. You're just going into Magnus and getting the sweet nectar out of the crystal room. in the form of an Avenger Sword, actually. In this case, that Avenger Sword might not be a key item, but with an X-Cal Cecil, it's going to do some work. So that's a pretty good pickup, regardless of it not really actually being progression.
Yeah, and normally because it's normally a very long check to go through, but with push speed jump, it's significantly quicker. And speaking of significantly quicker, Harumph did the opposite, turned down Wyvern standard time, and well, Cecil did get that Starveil off. So we did see a Highvern Wyvern. Unfortunately, though, that means he's going into the second fight with both Pelham and Rydia swooned. Well, it is dolls, though.
Do you have anything? Rosa might help a little bit here, I guess, but I think actually this is a problem because, it's going to be easy, though. There's not enough damage to be done here, I guess, in this case. But you might see the Calbrena. I don't know, unless there's some J items to kind of finish this thing off all at once. Okay, there's a big bomb. That might actually be enough.
Yeah, this is normally the Golbez spot, and Golbez is big, scary, and should be a playable character in Free Enterprise. You heard it here, folks. So it shouldn't have too much HP, and oh yeah, Calbrena is not doing very much damage to that Cecil. Unfortunately, Cecil was done being seen playing with his dolls again, so that big bomb just straight up nuked everybody.
I mean, sometimes when you're playing with your dolls and you're like, no, that's it. You're using your imagination. All of a sudden, no, a bomb's gonna hit and blow everything up, and that's the end of it. Sorry, bye. That's how my games go. I don't know about you.
The way my games work is I die to pretty much every single boss, and it takes me about 5 hours to complete a seed, and afterwards I'm crying in the shower, just with a spoon.
As you do. Well, a spoon and Ben and Jerry's, though, not just a spoon.
Nah, the Ben and Jerry's was already eaten. But we have an interesting alert, folks. Dwarf Castle, although not necessarily required, did give us the most powerful armor in the game in the form of adamant armor. That is massive for Harumph.
Yeah, that armor's, I would say, pretty literally game breaking. I mean, the way you're actually supposed to find it in the game is through some random chance of finding this random item that very rarely drops this tail, the pink tail that we now use to get for objectives and other stuff. But that's super hard to find. But in actuality, if you actually have the item, it's so broken, the stat boosts on it and everything, you just can't die. Basically, it totally breaks the game. And it's super worth it.
Yeah, another thing that breaks the game, especially early on, if you don't have push speed to jump, is a spicy boy edgelord in the form of Edge. Now, Neon Grey, throughout the course of their traversing the seed, they found a full moon, which actually ends up back row glitching Edge. So we have a long sword and looks like a mute dagger spicy ninja joining Neon. That is a very, very strong ninja right there.
Oh, there's okay, so there is an Ashura, and that Edge now has a mute dagger. So Edge is going to crush Ashura. Well, not that X-Cal Cecil won't, but Edge will probably one-shot her.
Yeah, just that's cute. You have the second strongest weapon in the game. I have a 4-inch blade that can do just as much damage as you.
Actually, I'm wrong. That didn't even do enough. Figures.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be one hit, but still.
Oh, 3. And a Tella taking a sleep.
Tella's had a long day. Listen.
I think he was done listening. That's the problem.
Well, right, exactly. He spent his whole day shaking his fist at a cloud, and now he's done.
Pretty much. But the nice thing, though, is with that party, that Evil Wall should be significantly easier. In Harumph's case, doing Dwarf Castle, getting a few more levels on that Cecil, and now with a Rosa, with a White Mage, that hopefully will tip the scales in Harumph's favor for here.
I think that adamant armor might do it.
Yeah, well, that too. I mean, now you're talking logically. We have an Artemis bow for Neon Grey for that endeavor. I think the Edge pickup was a little bit better on that case, but yeah, that is a nice find for a Neon right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good bow if you have somebody to use it. I don't, right? The Rosa was in Dwarf, correct? So I don't think they
Correct.
have access yet. So they don't have access to Rosa. I mean, obviously other characters can use that bow, and that bow is heckin' powerful, especially with the samurai arrows that I think were for sale somewhere. So in that case, it could be pretty good. But obviously, you're looking for progression at this point. And you see the usurper of the throne is the 8-tentacled mastermind Octomam.
What you didn't know is the Octomam decided to use its tentacles as the beard that you saw in that sprite. Well, it shouldn't. Normally, in this case, Octomam could be a little interesting, a little punchy right there. But yeah, with that party, that's going to be a very straightforward fight. No matter what the sushi tries to throw at them. Speaking of just dominating a fight, we did get Harumph getting to that evil wall, and that's going to be the first objective on the board for both of our runners.
Yeah, good job, excellent, and a Baron key to boot from that. So we will have access to. Well, I guess we already had access to the Baron key. Wait, that doesn't really do anything, does it?
Well, okay, hold on. Although in normal seeds and non-push speed jump seeds, Neon Grey would not be able to fight Octomam as they did without the Baron Key. However, the Baron Key does also unlock the Baron Weapon and Armor shops, which is a very gated shop and could have really good items. So
Yeah,
that.
it is decent. There you can get. In fact, I've gotten like curse rings and stuff there. You know, you're trying to find it elsewhere in the game and you can't, and you find it there. And we do have a king. We have a nice little trader over here wanting to join the party. I don't know if he's allowed in, but apparently by Rydia. And hello, trader. Please don't betray us all. Thank you.
I support that decision from Neon Grey. Honestly, I support that decision mostly because you already have a Palom. You've got your spells, you've got Quake capabilities. With that team right now, it's shaping up to be a very melee centric Z fight. So yeah, having that Rydia is nice, but considering how long it's going to take her to get to nuke, not really needed.
Yeah, I mean, she's only going to really become useful if you get to a point where she is going to get a grind. And you might not actually have that. It depends on how things are going to go here. Like, if you don't get to grind her up to nuke, then why bother? And a life staff in the pot in Baron basement, so that's another bust. We've been seeing like a lot of busts lately. I feel like other than that Baron key, we haven't seen a key item get picked up in a while. So we're running out of places that can have moon access at this point. I guess, actually, has anybody done Antlion yet?
Not to my knowledge. Nobody's done Antlion. I don't know if we've seen a Baron infight. Fabul defense. I mean, one of the hardest things about push speed jump seeds is everyone has kind of their standard routing paths. Push speed jump just throws them out the window. So it's sometimes you really have to focus on where did people go? Where have I gone? Where do I normally go that I've skipped? Like for a lot of people, Baron in is pretty early in the routing. If they decide to go for it, it's a character, it's two boss checks, and it's a key item. But this time, yeah, we're 35 minutes in and we're just getting to this right now.
Actually, just wanted to mention something unfortunate for Neon Grey. They just found in the Baron Inn an Ashura, and the one thing that Rydia would have been good for instead of Kayn here would have been Ashura and being used as a healer. So that is a little unfortunate for them. But there are other ways to go about things, but that's obviously a convenience to have a Rydia that can heal.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I can assure Neon that these fights are going to be pretty straightforward with the Magus sisters leading into the King and Queen Evelyn. So those are pretty easy fights, and we do have access to a tower key. So again, another boss check and another Kingdom check. And the tower key check is as long as it's not alt gauntlet, it's a pretty easy check for our runners to make.
And this is convenient too for Neon because they did not go do tower yet. So they can actually just do that, the tower key and the required objective at the top of tower in one fell swoop. So that's pretty cool for them, especially if tower key has something required. That's something really good to get early on. But yeah, I'm wondering how long it's going to be until they get back to doing some of these other easy objectives. Like, has anybody even done Sheila 1 yet?
No, I'm pretty sure both our runners set them up, but yeah, no Sheila won. But Harumph does not want to go check and the good goods this time. Harumph just wants to see who the true ruler of Baron is in the Odin throne. Now, this spot can be a pretty spicy spot depending on who is here, which in this case it is.
Gross.
It's a bunch of bombs.
It's gonna blow up real good.
Yeah, that's I mean, it looks like a very unassuming bomb fight, but then Mom Bomb gets into Mega Bomb, and then Mega Bomb eventually explodes into Baby Bombs. So it's a long, punchy fight, and correct me if I'm wrong, but although it looks like it should have a weakness to like ice, it doesn't.
I don't think that's weak to any. It might be strong to holy. I'm not sure about that. I know a lot of the early bosses are, but I don't think Mom Bomb has any particular weakness to anything. Now it does have a weakness to getting hit with stuff. I will say that it does not like getting hit with swords. Definitely a big weakness.
Agreed, but I mean, with as pointed out in the chat, the biggest thing that makes this fight a little on the spicy dicey side is Odin's a fast boy. He's a very fast boy. So any boss that's automatic that already is a little quick, this spot's just gonna go burr against them. Oh, and as far as pointing out in chat, words are hard today. Baby Bombs exploding is one of the few things that could put a kink in adamant armor. So Baby Bombs stronger than adamant armor confirmed.
Yeah, I gotta think if you're doing this fight, what you really are hoping is going to happen is that you can have, because what happens is the explode timer, whatever the trigger kicks off, and then you have, well, it didn't even matter. Yeah, you have 8,000 hit points or 9,000 hit points until the baby bombs blow up, but you just saw it. He just blew through it. So Harumph, yeah, done and done. No baby bombs at all. And Neon found the water hag. So that's a freebie. Where was that? I'm not.
That is the Fabul defense. I saw the blue robe, got really excited. Saw there was only one blue robe, and got really sad. Water hag, the way it works is you bonk it 3 times and you win the fight.
Yeah, I mean that's something you got to defend yourself from. Not hitting something with a stick 3 times. It's pretty hard to hit something 3 times. I don't know if you ever tried it.
Yeah, my accuracy tends to be pretty low on those, but yeah, we did see, I believe, a white spear coming out of the Odin spot. We're about to see what our water hag was hiding today.
Oh, something big. Come on, big. Look at Key. Which is good because they can just absolutely go get that right now. Neon does not have to worry about the boss in there. As long as, since they have the ability to open those doors, they could just go into that room, grab the item, and instead of fighting, at the evil wall spot, you can jump over that trigger, and that's another thing you can get out of.
Yeah, and the walls are currently off right now, so you would have to toggle the encounters to get them again. So yeah, that is a completely free key item check that Neon Grey now has access to.
Wow, and a vanilla pan to boot. So yeah, Fabul was a place to check here. Because yeah, now you've got the two more spoon checks on top of the shield one you just did, and yeah, you can go down there and do Luca. You've got Tower Key. Underground is where it's at. There's a lot of stuff to check here.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to hope either of those checks pan out to something bountiful. Hey, Flurry in chat. It feels pan. It really does feel pan, man.
I think that joke needs to cook a little longer.
Yeah, I tried to fork out more than I could chew.
Something. Spork. I don't know.
That wins just because of the absurdity of it.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Neon Grey is showing us a really, really quick, fun little skip and push me to jump for the sealed cave. Here's that broken bridge, and you can just parkour right off of it and miss a whole section of the cave, which is really nice. Nice of a time save.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun when parts of the game there's that little place where you can kind of peek over at the boss in the cave Bahamut, and it's like that's super neat. And now all of a sudden, oh, it's a super cool shortcut. I can just jump right over and cut off half the cave.
Yeah, there's so many. Like I said, there's so many little things here and there, and if if Push P Jump looks pretty awesome to you, and you want to check it out, our Discord has so many people that have done tutorials and guides and are more than willing to talk shop with you on Push B to Jump. It really is a beloved flag for a lot of our runners, and it really completely changes how you play the game, your routing and everything, and it gets pretty fun. So definitely check those out.
Yeah, if you have any interest in playing this at all, please join the Discord. Everybody there is super friendly. Folks are always there to answer questions. If you want to do races, if you want to start stuff, if you want to be able to see what other people are racing, or do asynchronous races, you can do kind of on your own and seasons of the week and all sorts of things. You can get access to those via the Discord, and it is super worth it. So please join us.
And meanwhile, we have kind of Harumph and Neon flip-flopping everything. We have Harumph getting those 3 bonks and done, and Neon is getting ready to open up Sheila 1 and get that wonderful vanilla pant out of this.
Yeah, that Luca unfortunately amounted to I think it was a ninja sword, so I'm pretty sure they reset out of that.
Well, remember, Neon does have a ninja.
True, but that's still unfortunate.
That ninja blade would definitely give them the edge on the competition.
Get out. just get all the way out. But yeah, no, not so much. I mean, the big, like, if it were like Cave Magnus and you could just hit exit and get out, then you totally keep it, right? But like the fact that the only way out of Luca Cave, you can do a couple of those weird little minus block jumps on the sides of the map where it's kind of broken, and you can also use warp, but it's not a lot.
They do have the warp, and the thing is though with Edge again is a spicy boy, and Edge does need, well, Hanzo Steel, which is right there, which would solve a lot of problems. Edge needs weapons. He's not a traditional mage in the sense of just needs levels. No, he needs really nice, like, bladed things to just do wonders. So if you're running a seed and you have an Edge, great early, but if you can't find the right weaponry for him, his damage output just tanks so quickly. Thankfully, though, Neon is doing an all-must-go sale to get that Edge exactly what he wants in the form of those, at least one bit of Hanzo Steel right there.
Yeah, they sold almost literally everything in their inventory, and they're still just a tiny bit short of getting that 93,000. But I'm guessing that everything's going to go. We'll get there. Yep, 93, 168, just enough.
So yeah, the Hanzo Steel long combo, it's not quite a double Hanzo Steel, but at the same time, as long as you got at least one of those, that's going to do loads of damage, especially a berserked Edge as Neon moves forward.
Yeah, that'll make Edge beat up stuff good. Good Edge beating up stuff good. Edge is good. Edge.
Though actually, thinking about it, did Neon ever go into the Dwarf Castle yet? Because there is the interesting thing of Neon, if they haven't, doesn't have a white mage yet outside of Tella, and Neon does not have a white mage outside of Tella.
Correct. Yeah, they have not done Dwarf. I don't know if that's a priority for them or not, but yeah, obviously that hurts not having the white mage access right now. Harumph is definitely has that advantage at the moment.
And our wonderful restreamer, Solaris, does bring up a very good point that Neon's white mage plan could potentially be just to hit things really hard to the point where you don't need a white mage anymore, which is an effective strategy. It's like spawn camping except useful and not rage-inducing.
Fair. Wait, I didn't see anything on the tracker. Did Sheila just not have the goods? Was that what I just saw?
I saw a samurai bow.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, there was nothing. Now, the real question, I know I asked this earlier, but it still begs repeating. When is someone going to check that antlion cave?
I hope it has the magma key.
Ooh, vanilla dark imps.
All right. So, this is a very, very, very easy fight for our runners. It's going to be just, well, with those characters, pretty straightforward. this is a very low HP spot, and not clearly 97 HP spot, but one virus should do the trick for the remaining 2. And just like that, the Supercated Room has been defeated, and Harumph will be getting another key item once they walk out of the tower.
I believe of the things that are accessible, what we have not seen yet are both Feymarch Royalty, this tower key here, and Antlion. I think those are the only 4 things, unless I'm missing something. That at least the stuff that's available currently.
That sounds.
Because we did do, Odin was done. So yeah, that's everything. So it's one of those 4 things is gonna have Darkness Crystal.
Me being a wonderfully nice person, I'm hoping it's in the Ashura spot, just because that's the one that's not required of our runner.
I don't know which is the Mist Dragon is at the Ashura spot though.
Yes,
that's gross. Ooh, I kind of want that now. Because wouldn't it be great if the runners, painstakingly finally make all their way through that dorky pale dim, and they're like, I've suffered through so much, and then it has nothing, and they got to go through that Mist Dragon.
It would be such a missed opportunity if they don't go there and find anything.
It's very true. Very true. Your puns are just dragging on right now, and it's really kind of getting to me here.
I was about to say, please don't tell me you missed the low-hanging pun there.
No, yeah, I'm not that slow. I'm pretty slow, but not that slow. Thank you for giving me exactly 0 credit.
So you're single cast slow and not double cast slow?
Yes. No, I'm telecasting medio slow.
No, because we do want you to stay around, though. That's the thing, though.
Fair. Okay, fair. Oh, and there you go. Neon now finally, thankfully, has that Rosa, and Old Man's going to be taking a permanent dirt nap somewhere else. I don't know. Probably just going to go nap over in Mysidia or something like that. But that Rosa now being the real solid white mage option, that's going to make Neon Gray's life a lot easier. And I'm curious because right now, obviously, they're sitting in the middle. I don't know who they are planning on using for an agility anchor, because we don't have vanilla agility on, if I'm not mistaken. Scrolling. Yes, right. So who's going to end up being the middle character there? I'd be very curious, but I think you probably want that Rosa up.
Yeah, I would almost right now see either a Palom or if Neon swaps out that Palom for somebody else, or maybe swaps out that Kane. It's tough to say really, but yeah, this is a very team go Bonk and Burr. So very Bacchus heavy, very melee heavy team, with Rosa doing a lot of the heavy lifting with keeping the team cured up. The Palom, although he'll give some extra damage, I don't think he's the top priority here. But speaking, when you mentioned Tella taking a dirt nap, and speaking of No Country for Old Men, an interesting thing about the push B to jump flag set, and oh look, Antlion, did you know that existed? Is Fusoya. Fusoya is a very, very OP Lunar Boy. And the thing is, though, push B to jump, if you don't have vanilla Fusoya, push B to jump actually really weakens Fu and his ability to do... It's a vanilla Antlion, too. Do just anything, because he'll get spells by defeating bosses, and you really don't defeat too many bosses with that kid. So fading Antlion. Let's not talk about Fusoya anymore. Let's talk about Antlion for a second.
Let's talk about Antlion for a second. Everybody have a seat. We're gonna have Antlion time with Asuka and Groundflyer. But no, it didn't have darkness progression, but it has a required pink tail. So definitely worth not forgetting forever, because having that free adamant to kind of just hang on to, and also a required objective, would be super useful.
It's that just turned into a really, really, really hot spot to fade. And the thing is, though, some of our runners are known for fading Antlion. I that's the one thing I've never quite understood, why people fade Antlion. It's a relatively straightforward check, but in this case, it has massive value right there. Just like the shop that Neon Gray's in right now, we have a cursed ring. So You don't really need to quite worry about agility anymore when you can just put a ring on someone and they go der.
Yeah, what's the opposite of burr? I don't know, der. That works. I'll take it. But yeah, the way the agility works, you need to have somebody that's slow to kind of slow down the boss to everybody else's speed. Basically, I think is how it works. So you want to have an anchor, so to speak, that has a very low agility number, and the curse ring is minus 15 to agility. So even if you level up a character, a lot of them will still have super low agility, even at like medium levels. So that's super helpful to have around. It makes setting up end game boss, end game parties like essential, basically, or super easy.
And I will say there's a piece of equipment that I used to work with that when you turn it off and the drum would slow down, it actually sounded like So as soon as you said that, I immediately thought of that giant drum. I'm like, hey, I know how to make that sound.
As long as I'm bringing back good memories, right? They're good ones, right? Stuff about work is good, right?
So Feymarch, let's talk about Feymarch.
Yeah, Feymarch is cool.
Yeah, especially with that team right there. Neon is saying, my team's ready to go. I can absolutely take on those bosses. If not just Pale Dim, are potentially both spots if needed. And as saying earlier, with our team of black mages, Pale Dim just kind of laughs in their face. Well, now Neon has a team of melee people that go bonk bonk. So that Pale Dim just got a lot more scared.
Yeah, Pale Dim was like, haha, all you do is cast magic. What are you going to do to me? Beat me up? You stink. You come back like, oh, great, you have the super magic holy sword thing, don't you? Crud. Great, fine. Why did I yell at you? That was bad. I shouldn't have got you mad like that. I'm really sorry. Can we just talk it over? Can we just be friends? Like, I don't want to get into a fight about this.
Yeah, Pale Dim's dreams and aspirations of being the king of Feymarch definitely paled after seeing that team comp right there.
Dang, I'm always trying to come up with a pun fast enough to like counter your pun, but I'm not good I can't do that. It takes me like an extra 5 seconds, so like I stutter and I can't. It doesn't work. It's very hard to get the timing down right.
You just gotta levy your options for those types of spots.
That is true. You're just roping me into that one.
Yeah. So, on her side, we do see some more egg grinds, which makes perfect sense. It's a great way to grind, great way to get a lot of levels. And of course, Neon Grey is doing cover strats with that Paladin Cecil. I believe Neon does have an adamant on that Cecil, so yeah, 1 point of damage. This is a free fight, plain and simple.
Yeah, it'll take a few minutes just because every single attack is going to have that counter slow. But yeah, at this point, it's completely free. Ooh, and that Kane I think just has a mute dagger, and he did like 300 damage. So if everybody's getting zerked, oh yeah, and right, because you can't. The thing is, you cannot berserk Cecil because if you berserk him, then he's not going to be able to cover. So you just kind of have to have him swinging like regularly, like a jerk. And he doesn't do nearly as much damage when you aren't able to just cast Berserk with it, but then everyone else would die, so...
Yeah, and Neon is showing a very nice spell for Paladin to use in the form of Virus. So Ice, Fire, Lightning, Paladin's just going to absorb that and like become even go from like a pale dim noodle to a cooked, strong dim noodle. But Virus, it's not weak, or it's not immune to, or it doesn't absorb. It just takes regular damage. But yeah, when it comes to cover strats with Cecil, you can't berserk and you can't actually use the cover command. Is that how that works?
You can't. You have to do a command. You have to do a thing. Like you cannot defend. Can you use? I think you can use an item, but like you have to. Maybe you can't. If you use cover a second time, you turn cover off, right? So that's not it. What it is yeah, you can't parry. That's the one. Thank you. I was trying to remember. Yeah, if you parry, then your cover will break for that round. Because I would often do that and just forget like for a round and parry because it's just like instinct to like go to another character and then all of a sudden everyone would die. I'd be like, what did I do? I don't even know.
So what you're saying, Ground, is that you've got it covered?
I don't got it covered. That's the problem. The problem is I don't listen. If you're gonna do that, you have to do it. Not that that's backward. Like never mind. I'm exasperated with you, Asuka.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, Ground, we missed you.
I guess the feeling is mutual.
And I will say, for those in chat, if you can't deal with our puns or you think you can do a better job with puns, we call that the Baka School of Punology there. Check us out. Go to our Discord and join the Restream team. We're always looking for people, whether it's just being like Groundflyer and I doing comms, Solaris doing the restreaming, so making everything look absolutely fantabulous. And then Aegis doing all of the button tracking and button pushing and making things light up. We're always looking for new people. We don't bite too hard. And it's actually just really fun. It's a really good way to get involved with the community. It hands down, like, not even blowing smoke. It's the coolest, most welcoming, inclusive community that I've ever been a part of in gaming. And I'm old, so I've been a part of a few gaming communities, and this one's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I love doing Restream team stuff with folks. You know, I mean, I like playing and racing occasionally too, but like it's so great just being a part of the community. And I'm saying this as somebody who has no prior knowledge that other people don't have. But, you know, at some point in the future, we're probably going to be having other tournaments for other sorts of free enterprise-based things. Just guessing, hint, guess. And so, you know, we'll probably be needing more people to man the helms here. So, you know, it would not be a terrible time for you to consider coming and joining us, because we'll be putting you to good use. Let's put it that way. So, you know, and if you have any interest, you know, join the Discord, and there should be places I think you can ask about it, get some information, see if you can do it. But we're always welcoming new faces.
And it looks like Kane did push mute on that pale dim and was able to take him out, so we'll be able to see what key item we get there from that required spot, and it is a package check. So it's a key item, yay! It's the 9th key item from the looks of things.
Yeah, it's only their 9th key item, unfortunately, so that's still not enough for the 10. I think that's right, because they don't have the Baron key or the Darkness Crystal. If they check Tower key, that's the big one left. Well, they still have to do Lower Babel as well. So hopefully now that they've gotten the Pale Dim out of the way, that they can move on to Tower and get that taken care of and get that Darkness Crystal.
Now, hold on there, partner, because we're still missing something. Lunar access.
Yeah, there seems to be some sort of dragon thingy person there too that wants to be fought, I think, a little bit. So yeah, Neon Gray's taken on D-Mist. We know that Darkness Crystal's not there, but I guess, or actually, what? Oh, we're still looking for a Magma Key. That's right. That's the last thing we need. So we have no idea where that is. That could be on the moon. That could be behind this annoying transparent dragon. Or cloudy, I don't know. What do we even call the dragon? I don't know.
I think Derek missed the memo that he was supposed to be a dragon.
Yeah, Derek's a weird dragon. Like, yeah, it's strange. Like, most of them breathe fire and stuff, and they're just like, I guess I'm just gonna sneeze on you. I don't know. Is that okay?
Well, here's the thing. Final Fantasy IV is great with a lot of things. Not so great at showing you a dragon-looking thing and telling you, yes, this is actually a dragon. Our wonderful everlasting betrayer, Kane, has some really good anti-dragon weaponry. Shocking, I know he's a dragoon. Surprising. But D-Mist actually isn't a dragon. It looks like a dragon, but it's more of a Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, that's actually a good way of putting it. Yeah, that's a good point. So that D stands for Derek, right? It's not LN Mist or something for Loch Ness. Who would want to name themselves after the type of monster they are? It's not like they're Pokemon. This is a dragon named Derek. It's not a Pokemon.
D-Mist is the equivalent of Pseudo-Udo, where it looks like a grass type, but it's actually a rock type. Demas looks like a dragon, but it is in fact a misty boy.
Yeah, but it's in fact going to kick your butt because Demas does not fool around. That might be missed, but that's going to smack you in the face real hard if you're not careful. Demas does not pull its punches.
But speaking of not fooling around, I mentioned them earlier, but I'll mention them again. Give these specific shoutouts where the shoutouts are due. Again, we have our wonderful behind-the-scenes restream team of Solaris doing the actual restreaming, and Aegis doing the wonderful button tracking. Give them a follow. Give our runners a follow. Give Ground Flyer a follow. Feel free to block me and my puns. That's cool. But yeah,
do that.
Again, all of our people, the runners, the restreamers, and viewers like you, because I watched a lot of PBS as a child, viewers like you make this show and our restreamed races worthwhile. So
yeah, and you can't see us right now, but we're pointing directly into your screen at you when we say viewers like you. So we're definitely referring to specifically you, not generally everyone, specifically you.
Not the one you're sitting next to. They don't count.
Exactly. Yeah, they totally don't count. Just you.
Just you. Only you. Nobody else. Only you.
Now, I won't make fun of Demas too bad because actually there's a Mist Dragon in Final Fantasy XIV for those who haven't played it. That's super cool. So I can't be salty about it because that Mist Dragon's really cool. Also, everyone should play Final Fantasy XIV. Bye.
Fair.
Yeah, this Demist has taken some time. That's the unfortunate thing. Like, even with the cover strats making it basically free, you still have to deal with the turn to mist and unmist and unmist phases, which makes it take basically twice as long. And then all the weapons like Excals that are holy actually demist is strong with the holy weapons, so you're only going to be doing it's like half damage or something. Even with super powerful Excal, it still doesn't do a whole lot. So it definitely makes demist take a little bit longer to do. But yeah, like I was saying, if we see either Magma Key or I guess is there the Rat Tail, maybe something that could lead to Magma Key or a pass, then this demist is unfortunately padding the length of time Neon is on this planet, not getting that darkness crystal. But you never know. It's a rando. This could be good stuff too.
Meanwhile, Harold has found that wonderful darkness crystal, has lifted up a lunar whale, and is going to the moon to hopefully find his underground access.
I wonder why the moon people thought to take a whale, like one of the heaviest and largest mammals, and have that go back and forth between the moon. Like, why did they pick something really light and not going to be really difficult to get off the ground, like a trout or something? I don't know. Just have a lunar trout and just swims up the
trout.
Listen, it does its thing.
Trout.
I don't know. I'm low on material. Okay, whales are cool. In fact, that is true.
You're definitely catfishing for that.
Yep, that's true. Dang it.
Anyway,
Ooh, it's a Val, but guess what? It's push B to kick Val's booty, because everybody has the ability to jump and push B to jump. Now, I mean, Val is also extremely painful and punchy, but everyone can do the spin. The spin-ending kick in this fight.
Yeah, this is a punchy spot, but yeah, that actually. Ooh, and looking at it, I don't know if our runners are necessarily going to be breaking that bugle, because Cecil was able to get 2K right in
her up through a nuke and it's going off. Yeah, the magic defense here is actually kind of bad. So even though Val is super tough to get spells off of, with the magic defense in this spot, you can actually break through that spin. And yeah, you're seeing serious damage come out. So yeah, this Val's actually going to get blown up real fast.
Speaking of breaking through to things, Neon Grey has broken through with some Z access, our final boss. They have found a pass out of our wonderful D-Mist. So although it looks like the moon is most likely required, Neon can potentially skip the walk of shame, really, of walking the entire lunar subterrane to get to the boss. All Neon would have to do once everything is completed and they have the crystal is to go to Troya, go to a bar, show a piece of paper to a random person. They open a magic door through the wall, and they get teleported into this crazy-looking portal, and they go to the moon. Because all bars have those.
I mean, obviously, like, that's where the bathroom, it's right next to the bathroom, right? You go back there, there's a little moon portal. Like, that's every bar, right? Isn't it?
That's the kind of thing you see at the what's it called? Last Call. But speaking of Last Call, we did get a rat tail out of that Valvalis. That is a key item check, especially with that hook available.
Was that actually a Last Call, or did you just fake a segue so that you could jump in and say a thing?
No,
I think you cheated.
Yeah, I pushed B to tail. Sorry.
He failed. Get out. No. But yeah, that rat. Good thing actually. He can save scum this really quickly. Go back and check, see if that magma key is there. But I think at this point we definitely know that the moon has to have magma key access, because I think we've checked everything else on Earth. But that pass is super useful because, like you had mentioned, I mean, the thing we know, since we know magma's on the moon, the last thing that's going to be done here, almost definitely, is going to be unlocking the magma, dropping the magma key down the well, which means that having that pass means you can just immediately go to Z. Like, you don't have to worry about going all the way back through the moon and everything. So,
but speaking of done, I am happy to report that we have not one but two people that are done. Give some GG. 3 people that are done. Give some GGs, everybody, to our first place finisher with a time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 33 seconds in the form of Antidale. Antidale has won today's race.
The Jump Master.
Second place, we have Jay Brunter with a time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, 20 seconds. And in rounding out the top 3, X Pancreas has finished in third place with a time of 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 9 seconds. GGs to all 3 of them.
Yeah, GG's. They're all really good. Tadale is, jumping is his baby, but he's super good at everything. Jay Brunter is like an up-and-coming super good player, and he's gonna blow everybody's socks off in the next tournament. And Pancraz is maybe the best player right now. So
Pancraz has this uncanny ability of like perfect routing, or just so accurately routing every single race he does. Like, I wish I could do that.
It's hard to imagine a moment where he makes a mistake. He's super efficient. It's really impressive to watch him play, because it's very rare that he ever does anything to undermine his own play.
But meanwhile, Neon Gray is attacking that evil wall, getting that objective over and done with, and Harumph is showing us, going down the LST to try to find that remaining magma key.
Yeah, so that, actually, what did that rat tail drop? It was definitely not a thing you want. I don't remember now.
Definitely nothing worth keeping that safe for, that's for sure.
Right, obviously, yeah. So one of these, actually, have either of the runners done the free checks down in the LST and Ribbon Room spot? Because that'd be a good place to check for things.
I wouldn't be surprised if Harumph, being the first one on the moon, is gonna go right there. That is the only boss where you can skip the boss to actually get the item, and that boss just happens to have 2 items.
Okay, Dragon Lord Carter says the apple, or the rat tail, had an apple. So thank you for that. Thanks for letting us know.
So sure enough, Harumph is going to be saving the game, and most likely showing us a little cheeky way to get to 2 free key items without fighting a boss on the moon.
Or just walking into it by accident.
Walking into it and resetting.
But this, friends, is why you save. Because you never know when you can make a mistake and accidentally step an extra step forward, and all of a sudden you're fighting a boss that you don't want to fight.
And thankfully, no resets needed, no mistakes made, and Neon Gray has defeated that evil wall, gets objective number 3 over and done with, and they'll be moving on to the rest of the seed. But a crystal was found by Harumph in the form of that earth crystal.
Hey, it's Ogopogo, my buddy.
That is an Angie noodle.
Yeah, the Earth Crystal's probably not going to be all that useful, but the other item was a white shirt, and I'm sure Rosa would really be happy with that.
Yeah, completely agreed. But that might not matter too much until Harumph gets through that Ogopogo. It's a very for having no arms. It's a very punchy noodle, and does do the big wave attack, which every big wave takes 25% off of your total HP off, and Ogopogo can do it twice in a row. In this case, it only did it once, so it only took 25% of your health. To start the fight, Ogopogo just says, "No go, Pogo," and immediately does a double big wave. So you start the fight at 50% health, whether you like it or not.
He's just really enthusiastic to see you, so he like waves twice. Like, listen, he just misses people. He's a little aggressive about it. That's all.
Would you say that Pogo says, "Oh, yo, Popo"? Okay.
That was really, really cute. You went too far. You went too far with the puns. You did it.
I know. I had to go to the moon and back for that one. Meanwhile, Ogopogo has given us a Dragoon Lance, so Kane's got a nice weapon, but not exactly what Harumph was looking at. So, speaking of Ogopogo, we're going to the actual Ogopogo spot in the game, and we're going to see who was at that particular encounter.
Yeah, we know all the freebies are gone. There's still a lot of really gross ones left. I don't think we've even seen... We've neither seen leg nor leg over 4. Oh, and that's just one of Leg's friends. Kainazo, though, also friendly. In fact, this is... Well, with Nuke, this is going to be kind of trivial, but this is normally a horrifying boss. But obviously with the levels that Harumph has, I think he's good.
I agree. The very beginning of this fight is very much a damage race. When Kainazo casts that wave, the damage that wave does is dependent on Kainazo's current HP. So you either want to use the Thor Rage or some type of lightning ability that scares Kainazo and makes the wave go away in time, or you just have to do overwhelming amounts of damage to Kainazo to try to make that wave as weak as possible. But like Brown said, we've got the levels, we've got our nukes, we've got berserks. It should be a pretty straightforward fight. But we also have a 4th place finisher that just popped over on my screen to the right. We have a Stone Dingley finishing in 4th place with a time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 58 seconds. So GG's to Stone.
Yeah, GG's. Good players tonight. Lots more good to go. And this has been a great race to watch.
Milan Gray is getting the completely good news about the pink tail while probably asking themselves, why did I fade this for as long as I did?
Yeah, I mean, that's my first question to both these runners is why do you hate Antlion so much?
Well, thankfully, Harumph was able to make turtle soup for the night, and we'll be able to see what key item awaits him there.
And there's our Magma Key. There's our Go mode.
That is a required Ninja Turtle right there. So most likely Harumph is going to be noping completely out, dropping a key into a well, saying, well, that's gone. And then immediately coming right back here. And we might be seeing a fun little thing in the near future in our chat in the future.
Yeah, possibly, maybe something. But we're not there yet. It'll take some time. A thing about some stuff that we ask some things and stuff.
Okay, then will be now soon.
Yes, yeah. When will then be now?
Soon.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it reminds me. You ever like you go out of town, you're visiting family, and then you're like you're on your way home. You're like you left and everything, and you realize like 2 hours into the drive you forgot your cell phone or something like that. You have to drive all the way back and pick it up and like get the heck out of there. That's basically what Harumph is doing. Is like going all the way back, dropping something off, and then going all the way back.
And what's interesting is between Harumph and Neon absolutely has the advantage right now with this. Like we said, Harumph is going to have to go back to the moon once they've turned in the Magma Key. They are making a quick party change, most likely getting their anchor all set to go. But once Harumph destroys the mountain with a simple key. Again, he's going to have to go back to the moon, walk the entire lunar subterranean, and go fight Z. Neon gets to save a lot of time now. They've both last found the magma key, or last checked magma key. So once Neon drops the key into the well, all they have to do, as mentioned earlier, is take the pass, go to Troya, and open a door. So Neon is going to save so much time once they get to their Z.
Well, that's gone. I love that. I love that you can just drop the magma key down the well after it's already been done, and it's just like, you just hear it drop, and it's like, okay, I guess we're done here. I guess I'm leaving this room now.
And, there's something so interesting about Free Enterprise that a lot of people that, if they don't necessarily play Free Enterprise, they don't get to see in any of these races. Because all of the NPCs, or a vast majority of the NPCs, have unique dialogue that was put in by fans and Boardface and et al. That just give them some really funny, cheeky comments or tips, tricks. Rosa's mom is now coded to give you hints about, hey, there might be something to check out over here. Also, all the people in Troya are very mean because they all bash Edward, which I completely disagree with. But people
even he bashes himself. Because if you talk to him when he's in the bed, he's like, there's something wet in the bed, and I'm not sure what it is, or something. I forget what exactly he's. Basically, he's telling you he's a bedwetter is what it really amounts to.
But on the bright side, Scholar did point out that a lot of it was written by Rivers, so it's good to know that Rivers spent more time. We're gonna have to talk about that Troya hate. Why he spent more time hating Edward than putting playable Golbez in there. Neon Grain, in the meantime, has been beating up dragons left and right, dragon eggs particularly, but there is one dragon that they were not able to beat up, and that is our favorite poison dragon, Poydrak. Because Poydrak has now finished the race in 5th place with a time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 52 seconds. So GG's to Poydrak.
GG's Poydrak.
But, as you see, you might be seeing deja vu with Rump going over the LST again. But again, like we said, it's the walk of shame now. But we do get to see a couple little key jumps here and there to just save a few seconds off of their time as they go through the LST. Like, oh, I think there was one that they could have... Oh, no, they're saving right now. Now, normally you would go to the right to continue on to fight a certain mystery boy, but I have a feeling that Harumph might turn around, go left, and make a jump that cuts over a whole little section of the map. But first and foremost, Harumph is going to be putting together all of his spells to make sure they are ready for a certain flagged event that people are suddenly talking about.
Actually, I think that's the flag for the nation of Zambonia, if I'm not mistaken. If you're familiar with the fans. I don't know if that's too deep because the Zamboni's the big thing that the ice and the hockey and stuff and a thing.
He's telling this to someone that was a figure skater for 8 years. Like, I don't know what Zambonia is.
Zambonia, I have no what I'm even talking about. Why am I here? So there's these Z flag thingies with question marks on them because I guess they don't know what a Z is. Like, what is this letter, or is it a Z? See, that's the confusing thing. That's what that really is for. Is like, is it a Z or a Z? I don't know. Am I trying to sound like a British person or a not British person? It's tough. But we don't, despite the fact that this game is mostly randomized, when the restreamer bothers to randomize the seed when he rolls it, we know one thing that's not randomized is the location of Zeromus, the final boss, who is instead gets to cosplay as all sorts of different enemies and villains from all over the video game and cultural universe. But we're always curious, and we have to ask this really important question, which always escapes my memory right now for some completely unknown reason. So, Oscar, would you help me out here? What am I thinking of here?
We already talked about the how many licks does it take to get to the center of Tootsie Roll Pop, but I think the question you were asking is, whose butt are we going to be kicking today?
It's always a good question to ask.
And also, I see those Lord Zeds and Zordons in chat. Rip Robert Axelrod, the voice of Lord Zed. I actually met him. He was the sweetest grandfather that everybody wishes they had.
I mean, that tracks with his like actual character in the game, or in the show too. So that works.
He's this okay. Robert Axelrod was this very small, very small statured gentleman with a little bit of a hunchback, and his normal voice was very high pitched and kind of airy. But as soon as he went to his Lord Zed voice, you got scared.
That's awesome. But now we're gonna get really scared because his true colors emerged. And now's the delay where we don't see it and you see it. Oh, and it's oh, Zandy. That's from Final Fantasy III, I believe.
Ooh.
And better known as Zandy from Final Fantasy XIV in the Crystal Tower raid series.
My first thought is Genie's not purple.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was about to say Genie. I'm like, wait a minute. No. I think this is Final Fantasy.
I was about to say, I ain't never had a friend like that.
You haven't, actually, because I doubt you've played Final Fantasy III.
Actually, I have. Thank you very much.
Oh, gasp.
But yeah, this should be a very straightforward fight for Harumph. Those big bangs shouldn't do too much damage, especially that first one is the nerfed one. That child is going to be taking a sleep, so good night for him. But yeah, Harumph has opted for the most likely hybrid strats of lots of nukes, lots of lots of slashes from Cecil, and Rosa is going to be doing a lot. Rosa is pretty much the MVP of this team and most every team that she's on.
She's the MVP of the game, let's face it.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But in this particular comp, she's going to be, her job is just going to be keeping everybody that needs to be alive. Poor Palom's going to be doing a lot of damage with that nuke.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Cecil's job here is really just to look ugly, so that everybody's going to want to throw like their meanest spells at him, so that they bounce off and then hit the actual boss. So he's probably just like saying like really annoying insults to the kids, like just getting them really mad.
And what's probably going to get Harumph really mad because he's in that Z fight is Twisted Flax has able to snipe 6th place from Harumph's grasp at the time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 59 seconds. And those segues will keep coming.
They will keep coming even if you beg for them to stop. In fact, that guarantees them to keep coming.
I've got the boss bit, Chad. You can't cast stop on me.
Can we do that? Like, what is that? Use the trash can as an item and destroy you thing? Can we do that?
I live in the trash can.
Fair.
Carrots are scary, though. Meanwhile, Neon Gray is checking out the Bahamut Cave. Gonna be seeing a Valvalis. And unfortunately, we'll be finding out that is not necessarily where they need to go to get that mag key.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to find the rat tail there. Would not be surprised if they do the same thing that Harumph did and do a little save scum trip down to check on that item that we know is actually just an apple. So that'll be, a couple extra minutes. But I don't think they will have any problem with Valvalis here. Like we were talking about, everybody can jump, and everything's going to be getting through that hair, that tornado hair.
Yeah, Neon's probably hoping that karma is somehow in their favor. That being said, in this case, it's a little bit of bad karma because bad karma has finished in 7th place with a time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 6 seconds.
Sometimes the puns, they just write themselves.
I had to think about that one.
Ooh, Harumph just took a nasty couple hits there. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. I guess he does have those adamant armors, but...
Ooh, but we are... Yeah, with Rosa casting white, it's getting pretty close to the end right there. And
there's our crumbles.
So yeah, with a finish of 8th place, we have our restreamed Harumph with a time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 58 seconds. Let's see those GGs for Harumph, and we'll see if Harumph would like to join us. Meanwhile, Neon Gray has finished the miles per hour collection with the second tail, and we'll see if they're going to be saves coming and checking that out.
I do hope Neon decides to just go bottom up. Wouldn't be surprised if they decided to go top down, but obviously we know the bottommost boss is where they want to be.
And for the record, that was for Flurry in chat. That's not the first time I've made that pun. But to save y'all from those puns, we do have our wonderful 8th place finisher in chat, or in the comms booth with us. So Harumph, GG's.
Thank you.
So at what point did you realize that you had been fading the Antlion Cave, and then at that point we're actively like, it can't be Antlion Cave, I should just do everything else and not Antlion Cave?
When I saw the pink tail at Antlion, I figured, yeah, mistakes were made at that point, because it would have made some of my pathing a lot easier. Pathing decisions here a lot easier going.
Well, and the funny thing is, it's both you and Neon Gray faded Antlion. So it's not like Neon was able to get that before you. Both y'all took Antlion right out of the mix there until the very end.
Yeah, you were still the first one to get an adamant on the restream, because you got the other one from, what was it? It was Dwarf Castle, I think.
Dwarf Castle, yes.
But yeah, two adamant armors, that'll break a game for you. How does it feel having a, what was it? Let's see, what all did you have? You had an X-Cal Cecil with an adamant armor. How did that feel?
I really just wanted one adamant armor at some point here, so I was like, all right, I just need to find a pink tail or another or somewhere else to get adamant armor, because I was trying to do my objectives fairly early, and some of it did pay off. Some of it did pay off, some of it didn't. So
Yeah, what were your thoughts about seeing our 2 required bosses, particularly that evil wall? I know you had some issues at first taking on that boss, and then the Rydia Palom combo looking at Pale Dim and Leviathan.
sorry. I'm sorry. Here, the first part of the question kind of cut out, so I didn't catch catch that.
Basically, how did you feel about those bosses? I know with Evil Wall, it took a few attempts to finally break through that wall, and then of course with the required Pale Dim at Leviathan, while you're sitting there with a Rydia and a Palom. What were your thoughts seeing those 2 required bosses?
Well, I knew the Evil Wall here was and Pale Dim here were going to be interesting here. I figured I might be able to get through the Evil Wall earlier here than I did here. Because I had the X-Scale Cecil at that point here, so I figured here if I could at least get some early damage in here, but the spot was moving a little bit too quickly here, so I just kind of so I figured I needed to find an anchor at that point, and then that'll be smoother going here. And then when I got Rosa, who acted as the anchor at the time, as well as the adamant armor, is like, oh, bonus, right? So yeah, Evil Wall's gonna be pretty easy at that point there, and yeah, by the time I was ready to take on the Pale Dim, yeah, like at that point, like I had the 10 kingdoms at that point, so I figured I'd just grind here and just and it would just be a fairly straightforward fight at that point. So I wasn't too worried about what was going to happen for those fights in the end.
Oh, Harumph, are you paying us or playing a rendition of tunes for us here?
I'm trying to here. My controller died out here on the first attempt, so yep, I'm getting some tunes here for you.
Cool.
And strangely enough, here I checked the job tool, which is something I never do. I used
Yeah,
to
we
talk
saw
to the
that. The
other-
law clerk. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for adhering to the official rules of free enterprise by checking the required things that are not actually required.
I'm disappointed in myself here. Normally I talk to the other dwarf because he gets ignored.
Hey, that's the Final Fantasy V battle music's a very nice one, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not often you get to hear music here in Jump Seats here because it's not required. I mean, it's here much like the dwarf, the job dwarf. But yeah, I figured here we'll see what it has covered here, and I am not disappointed.
Yeah, this is a good song. Actually, we should probably be quiet for a moment, I guess.
Okay, the moment's passed.
Fine, fine.
No, the one question I do have for you, Rumpf, is for someone that sees these seeds and are particularly push me to jump seeds. What is one tip, one little bit of advice you want to give somebody that's looking at this going, how do I even start doing something like this?
Push me jump can be intimidating at first here because the functionality of that here kind of breaks your normal pathing. So first thing is watching this. Maybe not this one here. This wasn't one of my best races, but watching a push B to jump seat here to get an idea of where you can break your break your more traditional routing. And play it and pull up make a seat here and try yourself. Give it play yourself in terms of trying to break it. Break the to get a feel here, just to get let's say, what am I trying to say here? Get familiar here with the different paths you can take here because it's super open, right? So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. That wide open nature is totally a different way to play this game. So it's interesting to have all of that variety open to you all at once.
And don't be afraid to jump down the rabbit hole because every path is correct until you find out it's not.
that is a very valid
rules to live by. Harumph, rules to live by.
But yeah, otherwise,
won me a few races and it's cost me a few. So, but you never know until you try.
Fair.
Exactly. Yeah. Any last thoughts about the seed or anything in general?
No, here. Just want to give a shout out here to Solaris here putting all the different streams and all the graphics together here to make everything look pretty. Aegis for pushing the buttons, and of course, our commentary team tonight with Oscar and Groundfire. If it weren't for them here, we wouldn't be able to put on this show here for you.
Well, thank you, Harumph, and thank you also for volunteering to be on here. Because again, none of us we could all be doing commentary on a blank screen. That's not very fun. So having you volunteer to be restreamed and just to be in the race entirely is the reason we are here. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for putting on a great show this evening.
Yeah, GG's.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Good night.
While our interview was going on, we did have two more finishers. Ninth place, we have Roger McBain with a time of 1 hour, 28 minutes, 45 seconds. Dr. Cossack finished shortly after in 10th place at 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 4 seconds. Meanwhile, Neon Gray has shown us some leg, and I don't remember who had the spoon, but we have a spoon on there, and we also have a defense sword coming from Ruby. So normally the defense sword would be really cool on a Cecil, but instead Kane's like, I'll take it, please. I'm good. You can give sword to me. I take
Me take sword.
Yeah.
Me hit things sword now. Yeah, the Murasame altar, I guess, was that the one with Ruby? I don't remember now. The Murasame altar was the one that had the spoon.
I'm one of those people that I'm still hashtag I'm bad. And there's a lot of spots where I don't know by the official weapons in terms of the altars, but you tell me, oh, it's the Wyvern altar, or oh, it's the Pale Dim spot. I know exactly where you're talking about. Otherwise, I'll just go It's on the moon. I'll find it eventually.
It's that first one. I don't know.
But thankfully, Neon Gray is preventing Dr. Lee from finding his voice, and we're not getting as much dialogue as we're used to getting. Don't think I'm done, chat.
I'm just going. The sound you're going to hear is just the sound of me sighing for the next 20 minutes or until the stream's over. So don't mind me.
What is interesting though is this is the D-Lunar, the Ribbon Altar. So Neon actually didn't technically have to fight this spot. They could be looking for levels on their characters. We'll have to ask once we are, I don't know, mid-50s. They've got some characters that are going some burr.
Honestly, like that was almost faster than just jumping, because the boss died so fast. Like really, it doesn't matter. I'm not doing Hades impressions, Antidale.
You did a really good Charon impression right there, Ground Flyer.
I don't know.
I think I'm best boy Hypnos right now.
I definitely want to be Hypnos right now because I would love to just go sleep. I mean, I'm loving the stream, but sleeping is all. That's where I'm a Viking.
No. Okay, fine, sure. That's fine.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're in agreement.
Speaking of finding the right things, Neon has found our fun little Ogopogo.
Yeah, not the good one, unfortunately. This is the one that is not required. Or, the spot is the one that's required.
Yeah, true. Oh, I don't remember the exact quote, Antidale, other than Hypnos going, whoa! It's been a while since I've kind of played Hades.
Have you stopped playing Hades?
Actually, yeah, I did.
That's also a good game, friends. Everyone should play that too. When you're done for Enterprise, that is.
No, I've reached my plateau in that game, and I'm not that great at it. So I've moved on to other crazy things like learning how to Super Metroid, and that's going-ish.
Hey, you gotta learn to be a 90s kid sometime. You're not just born one. Wait, except that I was.
I know you're older than me, and you were not born in the 90s.
Well, I was a teenager in the 90s, so I was an 80s kid, but like all of my like pulp culture, everything was 90s.
Yeah, I mean, kind of same, except a few years less. But Ogopogo spots have been found, and Neon Gray will be getting the very good news soon with, once we take out that turtle.
And while while Neon Gray is making turtle soup this evening, there are some more races Free Enterprise is doing for the rest of the week. Tomorrow it is not being restreamed, but Lunar Racing Club does their weekly race at 7:30 Eastern.
Actually?
Oh, am I? Is that not a thing? Am I?
The LRC is currently on hiatus.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
We get wait for it, chat. We get. You're not sitting. You're sitting down, but you're not sitting down enough. We get a day off.
Oh heck! Wow, a day without Free Enterprise. What even is this? My
A day
goodness.
to practice Free Enterprise. Like, I'm sure Gambit was doing some practicing of Free Enterprise, which is why Gambit finished in 11th place with a time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 28 seconds.
And Neon, you're just giggling up a storm.
I am.
So's Neon. They just found Go mode and are going to be done with this heckin' seed real fast, as we are going to see them immediately exiting out of this moon and going back to the planet and finishing this seed up.
Yeah, and you'll see what a difference that pass makes, especially in time in terms of how long it took Harumph to go from turning the Magma Key and getting to Z, as opposed to Neon turning in the Magma Key and turning in a pass to get to Z. So if ever you can find a pass, there's always benefit to finding a pass, especially in seeds that you might hear the meme moons haunted. If you can bypass the getting to the moon with the darkness crystal, you can forego the cutscene to get to the moon, cutscene to pick up a character, and if you can find a grind option without going to the moon, you actually save a lot of time with that pass. So
the only thing the pass doesn't get you out of is Asuka's bad puns.
Nothing can save you from that.
Yeah, the pass does not do it. Sorry. You can fight the maker of all that is hatred in the universe, but you can't stop puns.
You can make all the wishes in the well, and I'll still be here.
She definitely will. Sorry about that, everyone. But okay, let me try the rest of the races for the week now, because I think it was so skip Thursday. Ignore what I said for Thursday. Friday we have our community race at 10 p.m. Eastern on this free enterprise channel, and then Saturday we also have. Wait, what? Is that also not happening?
No, that is happening.
Okay.
It's on the Random Mania.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's at Random Mania. Friday's Random Mania. Thank you. And then Saturday on Free Enterprise, I promise that's correct. We have the Enterprise Legacy race. Is that also not happening?
No, you're right on that one. Carry on.
Okay, good. now you're just freaking me out. I don't know what's up or down anymore. That's at. Is that the one that's at 8:30, right?
Yep, and you can always do the exclamation point schedule that gives you all that fun little information that you can also check out with info.
Oh yeah, hit the schedule. Thank you. Sorry, Scala. Neon bypassing that airship next to Troya by saying, "Forget about it. I'm gonna get this flying chocobo over here and just land in the forest next to it."
Yeah, there is a wonderful thing called the swag chocobo, and that is getting a black chocobo and going, just getting in Troyan style. And Neon is.
Oh, they're gonna check the treasury for us? Is that what's happening?
Is this even?
I don't know if the music is happening, but either way, the treasury's being raided.
Treasury.
Got a Bahamut, a ribbon, and a bunch of nonsense so far.
I don't know.
We'll make our own music. Do 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 do. Is that the music? Is that it? Oh, that's Jeopardy. That's the wrong one.
This is the race that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started running it, not knowing where it was, but they'll continue fading it forever just because this is the race that doesn't end.
So there's a Masamune, a ribbon, and the Bahamut. So with a Rydia and an edge, I give this maybe like a 5. And anything that's not that is less. So without a Rydia, I'd say it's maybe like a 3.
That Bahamut summon would have been really nice early on with that Rydia. Unfortunately, it was in that Earth Crystal, which was a very late acquisition to both our runners right there.
Yeah, darn right. That's nothing you can do about that. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Those they had plenty to work with a couple of adamant armors and an X-Cal and some other junk. I hear you typing.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I was hearing you typing.
Oh, heck. My push to talk wasn't working. Hold on. Oh, it was on my leg. I was it leg? Yes, it was.
Man, just there's always an angle with you and more puns. You're Rapunzel, like just letting down your hair of puns.
I'll give you that one, I guess. Normally, you know what, Ground Flyer? This time, I'll give you a pass. Just like Neon is going to use to get to Z.
You sure did, didn't you? You sure did. But yeah, honestly, Asuka, thank you so much for doing comms with me. It's been a lot of fun. It's been like a month since I did comms. I guess I did it like once this year so far. But I haven't been able to do comms with you, and I've been looking forward to it. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for a moment here because it's been a pleasure.
Those are famous last words anytime someone says they want to do comms with me.
Listen, I'm saying something nice to you. You could just let it be alone for like 4 seconds without having to trash on it.
No. One of the staples in Final Fantasy IV is using the trash can to your advantage. And that's how I do massive damage to positive compliments like that. Just like Neon's going to be doing massive damage with their party against that Z, which we are about to see right now.
Yes, Neon finally going to put the seed to bed, I'm sure they are very happy to do so. One final booty kicking on the stream for us. Please enjoy.
But really, why is Butt? How is Butt? Not who's, but just how is Butt today?
I mean, when is Butt though is also kind of relevant. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Like the
literally
Butt,
soon.
Right? When is Butt is like basically right now.
Well, I mean, ish.
I wonder, like, does Romus just have like, I wonder if he's got like a closet just like full of really cool outfits. Like, you gotta imagine if he's got all these awesome different outfits and stuff that we're seeing him. He must just have like the best like big walk-in closet full of crazy cool gear and stuff.
I mean, you got some swag pants right there.
Yeah, cosplay master, right, Scala? That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, yeah. That's the real headcanon. Like, exactly. He just loves dressing up as everybody.
And according to Paladin just in chat asked, my puns are too exceptional to be grounded. You're right. You could say I'm flying high with them.
You darn right you are. And I heard that. Now just gotta ignore it, pretend it didn't happen, and keep talking. So yeah, yeah.
I read that in the commercial sound. You just.
That's what I was going for. Yeah, I was trying to deadpan it just the right way. Yeah, I'm making very, very quick work of Zandimus, as is not surprising given the party layout. They're definitely going more melee. Looks like everybody's just kind of swinging their weapons and beating the ever-loving snot out of Zandy at this moment.
Yeah, and again, after that nerf Big Bang, Rosa is, although she is going to be doing a little bit of damage with the bow and arrow, she still has the capability to just, again, keep the party topped off. I don't see them nerfing too many Big Bangs. It's just going to be straight power overwhelming, especially with that Palom taking, a timeout in the center.
Did Palom have a berserk on before they got beat up? Because I was hoping for a Quint, and I wonder if we just missed it.
I don't know, but Antidale wins. Oh, Antidale.
Wow.
That one in chat. I hope Sosa doesn't have a corked bow. Oh, the Cubs fan in me agrees.
That's pretty impressive, Antidale. I'll give that to you. That's some good baseball pun there. That's a deep cut.
There are no strikeouts with that kind of punnage. So yeah, in the meantime, Neon is doing a good continuous amount of damage to Z, and yeah, I do not see Z too much longer for this plane of existence that it is in. Case in point, Neon Gray did get the flash, crack, the pop, and the boom, and has finished in 12th place with a final time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 42 seconds. So again, get those GGs out for Neon Gray, and we will see. Actually, Neon Gray was able to snipe Microcorgs with 13 words. Microcorgs in 13th place with a time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 9 seconds. And it looks like Neon Gray will be joining us for an interview shortly. So yeah, all in all, this was actually, I'm gonna stay quiet because I just looked over and Neon has joined us in the comms booth. So Neon Gray, GGs and congrats.
Hey.
I'm sure you're glad to have that one put to bed. How are you feeling about that antlion? Like, because I'm sure it wasn't that long in that you realized, oh, I haven't done antlion yet, and then antlion continued to not be done for a very long time. And don't feel bad, you're not the only person who did that. Also, Harumph also did the same thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to leave it late on push B to jump in general because, you know, you don't really have as much of a reason to go for it as early. But so it's sitting there and I'm looking at it and I'm going, I haven't done antlion yet, but I'm over here, I'll take care of all this first. And then I'm like, I should probably go do antlion. And then I go do antlion.
And then the tail showed up.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully it wasn't like darkness crystal or something, although you would have found that out pretty quickly if that were the case. But obviously it was still required and it was an adamant armor, so, you know.
Yeah, that would have been... Yeah, that would have been very nice to have that early, just because, you know, as you can tell by what I did once I cleared Dwarf, that was one of the things where I was like, well, if I have this, I can go deal with that Pale Dim at the King spot.
So did you spend a lot of your time just obviously you went underground, you found everything, you found out Pale Dim at Leviathan and stuff. At that point, were you basically just like kind of running your seed, like, okay, I have to get through this Pale Dim, and just kind of that was basically your end game at that point, was to try and figure out how to get through him?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad because, you know, I had the crystal rings, which do give dragon defense. So at that point, I was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna get some more levels, just to give me a bit more of a buffer. And then I ended up doing Dwarf for that, and I'm like, well, that's an adamant, I can just do that right now.
Was it a bit of a relief when you got that Cecil and then got the vanilla legend sword at
Oh yeah, that was beautiful, because, you know, all I had before that was a light sword, which that'll do, but meh.
I'm curious. Go on.
Like the other big relief was the just finding that white spear for Kane, because up to that point he had like a mute dagger, which meh.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an upgrade you got there for Kane right there. My question is for the ribbon altar, the D-Lunar spot.
I was in the fight and I realized I could have just jumped over this.
I've been there. That's what I figured.
Yeah, and by the point I realized that, you know, he was already pretty much dead anyway, so I'm like, I'll just finish this.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying, is basically like doing the fight was almost as fast as just jumping over it at that point.
Yeah. Like, I had already gone to the second phase when I'm like, wait a minute.
My spidey sense is telling me something here.
Yeah.
The question I asked Harumph, and I'd love to ask you as well. So, for somebody that's watching a push B to jump seed, what bit of advice could you give them to maybe, like, what little bit of advice that you wish you had before you started your first push B to jump? Because it can be pretty intimidating.
The big thing, and it did not pay off even a little bit in this seed, but I find that it does more often than not, is know where your sequence breaks are that you can jump over. Like your, actually I can't say it didn't pay off because, it may not have been a key item, but that Avenger at Magnus Cave was very, very good.
Yeah, that was a huge advantage that you actually had over Harumph. He never went there. So that was obviously super powerful to get that ex-Cal Cecil also to have that. That was awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, it was less urgent because Bacchus Woods were very available, but with the S-Quarter, you also don't want to have to spend on that, because you may notice for a lot of that, I was pretty tight on cash.
Well, you, I guess at that point probably had already had access to the forge, and so you knew that apples were for sale there, and Hanzo steel, and obviously ended up getting the Hanzo steel, and spent basically every last penny that you had to get it. So
Yeah.
I can understand wanting to save money for all the good stuff that was in there. If you wanted apples and stuff, I think that crystal rings were even in there too. So
Yeah, like the apples were not my big concern there, but the crystal ring, I picked up a second one of those early because by then I did know I was going up against Pale Dim. And again, that for that edge, that Murasame was a huge help too.
Agreed. Any last thoughts or comments about the seed or anything in general, Neon?
Not really. This, this one gave me the runaround, obviously, but it's always a really fun flag set to play, just because you can do so many different things than you normally would be able to. So I really don't mind. And right at the end, I figured, I completely bypassed music for everybody. I skipped the job dwarf. I might as well give everybody a treasure eater, right?
yeah, thank you. Unfortunately, it rated pretty low, but thank you for doing it. If you still had that Rydia, maybe it would have been a little higher.
I mean, there was a second sword that was an upgrade for that log for edge, so can't complain there.
Fair, but it's still like a 3 out of 10. I say maybe
Yeah, it was not the best. I've seen by far worse, but
oh yeah.
Even on a wildish, but you know what? You gotta have a treasure eater, right?
I mean, that's fair. That's the law now, I think, actually. So thank you for following the law, Neon. I appreciate it.
I mean, I won't say I've never committed a crime. But,
okay, I have you recorded on that.
But rating the treasury crimes, I do not commit that. I do my civic duty there.
Thank you. Much respect, and also much respect for you being on the restream this evening and racing. Thank you so much for being part of this. We can't put on our show without you being part of the show, so much appreciated.
It is really nice to see you. I don't get to see you that often on restream, so it's really enjoyable to see you get out there and race and kick some butt.
Oh, I always like a showboat so that's always fun. I did, take some time off for a while because, and I'm going to give a shout out here to, I was off because my cat, Cassie, was very sick, but now she's almost completely better, so shout out to Cassie the cat.
Yay!
Oh, shout outs. Heck yeah. Congratulations. That's fantastic. I'm super happy that they're getting better and stuff. That's great news.
She's a very good girl. She's still got a feeding tube in, but she doesn't really need it anymore. She is pretty much back to her old self and being a little pig.
Awesome.
Fantastic to hear. And again, GG's Neon Gray. That was a fantastic thing you had here today.
Yeah, GG's.
Thank you, and thank you all for commentating, tracking, restreaming, all of that good stuff.
Thanks a bunch. Hope you have a great night.
Yes, you too.
So with that, looks like our night is done. Ground, any last thoughts about the seed in general?
This sure was a seed that had stuff in it, and I watched it and I did commentary. But no, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it always is fun. This definitely threw some curveballs and unthrew some curveballs since there was so much vanilla in it, like just unbelievable amounts of vanilla in it. Like it just didn't even seem realistic how much vanilla was in it. Come on, what are you even doing? No, I'm just kidding. It was a lot of fun, and thank you all for letting me be a part of this. But it was fun seeing everybody racing. Anyway, on that note, we are going to go raid Dr. Cossack, who is doing legacy practice, I believe.
Dr. Cossack's doing some legacy practice. Since we did have our race today. No spoils! You spoil, you'll get the bonk and a very bad pun from me. Worse than the ones I've done this stream. I don't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't betray your trust like Kane would. So, but on that note, I hope everyone had a good night, good morning, good afternoon, or wherever time you are currently in, and we will see you for the next race. Until then, bye.
Good night.